Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, or whatever time I'm watching this. I much appreciate it. Welcome back to Socrates Jones, Pro Philosopher 2. Already stumbling over my words. This is great. Alright, finally. Jen, yes, hi. I assume you've been worrying, and... Nah, we're good. Marcus recalibrated the portal so he could watch you. Nice move pointing out the mandate's circular logic, by the way. You're clearly a sharp kid, if I may ask. What are you studying? Oh, accounting. Really? Like father, like daughter. Never considered following in your mother's footsteps? You mean becoming so desperate for approval I build an interdimensional portal? Touche. No harm in accounting, I suppose. I myself pursued a doctorate in theoretical physics and electrical engineering. Had to make most of the investment, you know. Oh, yeah, I guess. Quite the team my mom's assembled here. How did Jen get involved? So, Jen, does Marcus make you feel insecure? Huh, why would he do that? The guy has 2 PhDs, you're still a student, and how'd you get involved in this, anyway? Oh, does she still not know? I'm about to lose my damn mind. No, I was trying to save my last vestiges of being normal. Listen, Ari. I first graduated years ago when I was 16. I hate you already. Degrees in philosophy, physics, and political science, the 3 Ps. Well, the physics was quantum physics. So, you... Hold on. You, Jennifer, were trying to get me out to party while I was studying for my goddamn degree. Because you already have your 3 degrees. I hate you. Holy moly. Well, the physics was quantum physics, but I don't say that because it ruins my P's. So that's why you never have to study. Bingo. I enrolled again for the things I missed the first go-round. Mainly parties. Another P. Learn Jen's secret, well, her other secret. I got that achievement. Okay, time for my supremely unqualified self to return to mom. Wait! Before you go, your phone's been going off like crazy. Maybe, like, check it? Oh god, I missed like 20 messages from Dad. What's going on? Where are you? Why aren't you responding, dear? Yeah, I need to deal with this. Hey, I assume you're busy again, but I wanted to follow up. Keeping an eye on Mom. She's still in the intelligible realm, but she's okay. She got here through a lab behind my bookcase at my school. Sounds pretty weird, spelled out like that. Anyway, I'm helping her get the gate open so she can come back. I just want to say, I hope there's an option to remain pissed at my mother forever. Because what do you mean? Because there's obviously some sort of, like, bad juju going on between me and Mom, right? But not only that, she watches me in my sleep, builds a lab behind my bookshelf, sets me up with a fake roommate for her political gain. I'd be pissed till the end of time. I'll get her out. Everything will be fine. Promise. Bye. Well, that should be settled. You really think he'll stay out of it? I mean, if Socrates is anything like Pythia, Dad is nothing like Mom. When she first got into politics, he couldn't understand why. Yeah, Socrates' lack of support for my career choices is like number 3 on Pythia's top 10 historical grievances. But didn't he also debate all those philosophers? Seems like something she'd totally do. Okay, sure, but what's he gonna... Well, okay, to be fair, Socrates Jones didn't have a choice. Because I was in a coma and he was dead. Or we were both dead or something. Anyway, that was just the dad doing what it was to do. That was... Anyone would debate those philosophical nerds to save their kid, right? I feel like that's not really like, oh, he's just like Pythia. That's like, no, that's just a dad being a dad. Alrighty. Anyway. Okay, sure, but what's he gonna do? Come all the way from New York City? I only have the mental bandwidth to worry about one parent. Go on then, we're rooting for you. There you are. Also, he called me dear in the text messages, which is funny because that's what got us into a car crash in the first game. How are you doing, Mom? Find a sandwich shop? No, philosophers apparently can't cook. But luckily here is the idea of a sandwich is as nutritious as an actual sandwich. If I sit here thinking about food, Ah, there. I feel so much better. I had no idea it could work like that. Having a corporeal person here is truly fascinating. Wait, now I've thought about food too much. Oh no, so many imaginary calories. Dear God. The imaginary calories are real. No. Sigh. Arbiter. Did you choose the next philosopher? That's probably the best way to distract her. Nikolai, I've heard this guy's name before. Nikolai McKelly? We'll say McKelly. That feels correct. You've got to be kidding. Oh, we fought that guy in the tutorial. I don't remember a damn thing. Or in the demo, I don't remember a damn thing. Gotta be kidding. I assure you there's nothing humorous about this situation. I remember hearing about this guy from Crash Course Philosophy by Hank Green. It's not Niccolo. It's Niccolo Machiavelli. Is an Italian nobleman, friend of Leonardo da Vinci, and author of The Prince. His ideas are controversial, but you seem to find Confucius too optimistic, so I will choose to take that as a compliment. I say what others will not. Yeah, no, have fun, Adney. Again? Mom, really? You can't just Pumpkin, I appreciate your optimism in engaging with different worldviews. There isn't a politician alive who doesn't know the name Machiavelli. Just imagine the attack ads Tucker would run if he knew we'd met. It always comes back to the campaign. Always. Fine, I guess I'm handling this one as well. Really? I'm to face this small child? We're like the same height, man. You're like a little taller. And he's got an attitude. Confucius was chill enough I forgot how wacky some of these philosophers can be. Very well, I shall wipe the floor with this naive girl. Then perhaps you will all appreciate my ideas. I'm not naive. My father and I have debated countless moral philosophers. Okay, and you believe such experience is relevant? My. I will bring you to the truth of the matter, and these repeated fantasies. Primary purpose of all government is to provide stability. See if I can. I'm trying to remember the demo. Urgh, my brain. But to distribute power among the many or even the few is to invite disunity and disorder. Clearly, he's the best of the single. Oh, right, he's a monarchist. A single monarch, the prince, maintains the state. During the time, Italy was leaderless, lawless, and beaten, ruined in every way. Families, guilds, priests, and merchants all fought for influence over councils and committees. For years, I participated in the Florentine Republic, only to see it fall in the Medici family upon their return. Fall to the Medici family on their return. So that's why you abdicate for a single leader. Si, signora. I told Medici as much. Or Medici. With a strong prince at the helm, perhaps work can actually get done. Nothing is more important than the stability of the state. Stability first, add the idea slate. Well, this isn't too bad so far. It's only 3 statements. Isn't 3 statements because he's only presented the very surface, a basic argument for monarchy? That's not even specific to Machiavelli. He's holding back. You can tell I've been talking for a while because I'm starting to trip over my words. Novice lessons for the novice. I should get questioning then. Figure out what's hidden here. Okay. I'm trying to remember. I vaguely remember the plot line of this. Primary purpose of all governments provides stability, but distribute power among the many or even the few is to invite disunity and disorder. Clearly, it's best that a single monarch, the prince, maintains the state. Okay, so if I remember correctly, it's like, oh, but then the prince elects other people and so on and so forth, and his whole argument falls apart. Okay, clarify this. Government's job is to establish and enforce laws. By doing so, it establishes its domain, and within that domain, it must establish order. Okay. I'll just back this. Just give me the deeds. People tend to remain content as long as their life remains predictable. I mean, that's true. But a predictable life requires a stable and secure state. Plans tend to crumble when governments collapse. I mean, yeah, fair enough. Distribute power among the many, or even the few, is to invite disunity. When you need multiple people to decide anything, you most likely decide nothing. Back that up for me, would you? What reasoning supports this statement? Every person brings their own peculiar petty preferences to decisions. Have too many seats at the dinner table and you will be trapped in arguments instead of enjoying your ravioli. I'd rather have lasagna anyway. See, petty preferences. Lasagna wasn't even invented till after my death. No lasagna! Honestly, that's my reaction to having no lasagna. I love lasagna. Government is no different. We cannot afford the weakness of bickering. But lasagna... Okay. Clearly, it's best that a single monarch, the prince, maintains the state. Clarify that for me, would you, baby? One ruler is ideal, clear enough. The single monarch ideal is fairly common in history. Thomas Hobbes and Thomas Aquinas were two notable supporters. Of course, Hobbes would be a supporter, that fucking Debbie Downer. Hit talking point at the Tom Convention. Well, Thomas More certainly wasn't a fan. He was beheaded as a result. More like Thomas No More, then. Okay, let's get back to the questions. Even I was like, ooh. Alright, back that up, would you, baby? Many voices introduce discord. One voice does the opposite. The one guy in TeamSpeak. The monarch provides a clear figurehead for all who can act decisively and efficiently. It's kind of following the Confucius argument about the need for roles, right? Is efficiency that important? Isn't it worth taking a little time to loop people in? In affairs of the state, threats have to be dealt with immediately. Like tuberculosis, if you wait until symptoms are apparent, it is already too late. Interesting. Seems like a core assumption, something that should be in your argument. Backing statement added to argument. Okay, clear single. Okay, so we got this now. Prince can then do all that must be done without distraction or restriction. Clarify. There's nothing holding the back from Prince from strengthening the state. He can and should do whatever is needed to secure power using any means. Any means? But like, I mean, he's not going to what? Torture? Murder? Yes, here we go. Assimilate? I don't know, assimilamento? I don't know, that's Italian for something. Whatever's needed to secure power means whatever is needed. After all, politics have no relations to morals. What? Wait. We can't really be arguing the ideal government is one that discards all morals. We not only can, we are. The great thinker Ibn Khaldun once said the government's role is to prevent injustices other than those it commits itself. But the injustices, of the world are great, so the princes must be even greater. Being noble in the world without nobility will only end in tragedy. Enough! We will proceed to more advanced lessons. Okay. Treachery has always been an element of politics. The prince must act accordingly. Strong hand is required to instill order where otherwise chaos would take hold. Many morals, however, get in the way of strengthening the realm. The prince must discard such principles and put the needs of the state above the needs of the people. I wonder if we're going to argue with Karl Marx in this game. Do you see now, girl? If anything, your love of moral philosophy would disqualify you from leadership. To remain in power, the prince would be prepared to do anything. Sorry if you heard that. That was me messing with my clicker toy. Well, damn. I didn't realize Sith was a valid philosophy in the intelligible realm. See what I mean, Andy? Machiavelli's philosophy is the template for countless despots and war criminals. Are these really ideals you want to entertain? Funny, I was just thinking about how similar that is to what you said earlier. What? The high road doesn't work? If you believe that, then why shouldn't we take the lowest? Whatever you need to win, right? Seems to me his ideas might have a pull on any cynic. They might even adopt some of his behaviors without realizing. So you find my philosophy disturbing, that much is clear, but can you find logical fault in it? Why don't we find out? Let's go, Niccolo. A little bit of a rhyme there. Poet, and I wasn't even aware. Treachery is always the element of politics. Prince must act accordingly. Strong-handed. Okay, let me just get the clarification. No amount of nobility can save a kingdom from a knife in the back. Leader must be cunning fox and recognize such traps where they are sprung. Alright, well, backing. What evidence do you have for this? I mean, I feel like history itself is an evidence. I can list many historical examples. Athocles, who became the king of Syracuse through criminality. Oliver Otto, who killed his own uncle for power. When the previous leaders let down their guard, these men seized control. Such is the reality of the Game of Thrones. The endings can be messy. Don't you know it, man? Strong hand is required to instill order. Clarify. Order creates security. The prince must deal with problems as a ferocious lion striking without reservation. Might makes right, and the prince must always be right. Backing. Every government is subject to the whims of fortuna. Famine, flooding, attacks from within and without. The prince must have the will to defeat these whims, otherwise the state will collapse. To this end, there is nothing more important than the development of the army, constantly preparing for war. Threats from without add to the ideal slate. At the same time, the prince must have the strength of arms to control his own people, attacks from within. Without adequate constraints on his subjects, he will be deposed, and there's always someone who believes they would make a better prince. Threats from within. Okay, I think, yeah, I remember these two arguments being quite strong. strong enough to overcome any external threat. Rulers must do everything possible to prevent unrest among the people. Many morals, however, get in the way of strengthening the realm. Clarify. Don't be a nice guy. Prince is too busy fretting about what's right or wrong. He will not be able to do what needs to be done. Once again, this is like sort of the mandate of heaven argument of like, if the prince gets away with it, he's in the right, you know. The ability to do what must be done, I call virtue. Did you just define virtue as the opposite of virtue? So what if I did? If I recall, in your time, literally means the opposite of literally. No? It's true, nothing is sacred. That was after literally everyone was already using it that way, not because one Italian dude decided it should be. Alright, back this up, baby. What evidence do you have to support the statement? Generosity, honesty, kindness, such values are shackles. Without them, the prince is better equipped to protect his power. The right thing is often not in the state's interest. For example, social welfare leads to greater comfort for citizens. A compassionate prince may find this appealing. Such a kind prince will also keep the peace with an ally fall into hard times, honor historical treaties, and leave them undisturbed. But this prince would wind up destitute, coffers dry, defenses broken, his people crying for programs he can no longer support. Don't spend your own money, invade other countries, take their money, and spend that instead. People won't care if prosperity comes from the suffering of those they do not know. Okay. I feel like that's not really... I was thinking of challenging it with the... challenging that statement with stability first, but I feel like you kind of just said, you know... Prince must discard such principles and puts the need of the state above the needs of the people. What do you mean by this? Morals have no place in governance. Well-being of the people is secondary to the security of the state. What happens if you have this? Previous statements support this. No. Prince who rules without mercy. Prince who keeps the throne. Okay. Okay. Church has always been elements of politics. Prince must act accordingly. Strong is required to instill order where otherwise chaos would take hold. Many morals, however, get in the way of strengthening the realm. The most important. Government is providing stability. Ruler must be strong enough to overcome any external threat. Rulers do everything to prevent unrest among the people. Hold on, let me try to challenge it from threats from within. Machiavelli, you claim the job of rulers to establish stability, correct? Correcto. And in order to establish stability, a ruler must be ruthless. Indeed, the prince must play both the cunning fox and the ferocious lion. Such is the only way to defeat Fortuna. The whims of fortune, right? So tell me, Machiavelli, while defeating the whims of fortune, can you also defeat the whims of your people? What? Machiavelli, you say rulers should be dishonest and treacherous when it serves. That they must enforce their will with strength, rule with an iron fist. But the strength of a single prince is limited, and the prince expands his domain and seizes resources as you advise. The number of subjects will grow. What stops the people from mustering all their strength to overthrow him? Such a turn of events seems highly likely, if not inevitable. Excellent observation, Ariadne. History has countless examples of deposed tyrants. If I remember correctly, he argues the army, and that sort of falls on the whole sole hand of the prince thing. Exactly. Time and time again, despotic rulers have come to power, but eventually people realize they together have more power than those who lord over them. No single fist is irony enough to take on an entire population, not even the most ironic fist. It's not what ironic
sense.
The people will rise up. No. How foolish a leader would have to be to let that happen. But it's happened time and time again. Only because rulers failed to deploy the correct methods to keep the masses in check. Allow me to explain the tools at the prince's disposal. He's going to mention the army. In order to prevent rebellion, the prince must ensure the people fear him. Few acts of merciless cruelty are needed to make the would-be rebels cower. But the prince must not be hated. To offset the ire of the people, he must maintain the personal appearance of justice. The prince must therefore do what is needed to recruit agents to enforce his will, constantly remind them of the prince's power. Peasants would not dare step out of line. Bene. You see, power breeds resentment. Hatred is gained as much as good works as by evil. Love and fear are both desirable, but if much is between them, it is far safer to be feared. Only when the people know you are strong will they follow your commands. Control requires fear, added the idea slate. Consider the arbiter. He uses fear effectively to maintain the controls of this realm. Excuse me! I absolutely do not use fear to rule. A superb demonstration. His yelling is very dramatic, see? And the skull mask, yes, quite intimidating. But the mask is merely ceremonial. It is how people know I hold my position. can tell he's just digging into this idea of ruling by fear. I learned long ago that people with such abhorrent ideas are not interested in rational debate. They argue for these positions because it offers some advantage to them. Power, control, or just the airtime intention of being awful against them. Some perhaps, but as you said, you have before the template. The prince is my defining work, and I'm here to defend its influence. Well then, let's put your template to the test. In order to prevent rebellion, the prince must ensure that people fear him. I feel like we can challenge that right away, but... Let's go through before we do anything, get our clarification, our backing. I think I can challenge this immediately with enemies from within, no? But, yeah. What do you mean by this? It is ideal if the people think the prince is great, but it's essential that they know he must not be crossed. Backing. My evidence will come shortly. Okay, but why not now? Because here I wish only for the full power of this concept to be felt. If you wish for elaboration, question my following statements. A few acts of merciless cruelty are needed to make would-be rebels cower. What do you mean by this? If you do torture and execute a few citizens, others will think twice before starting the rebellions you mentioned. If injury has to be done to a man, it should be so severe vengeance need not be feared. That's terrible. Why not just be kinder? Light punishments do little to stem the tide of disrespect. Act decisively up front, and you need no further cruelty later. No one else will risk the same fate. Back this up, would you, for me, baby? Love is a bond of obligation these miserable creatures break whenever it suits them to do so. But fear holds them fast by the dread of punishment that never passes. Once again, behold the arbiter. When one of us disrespects the rules of debate, he quickly disciplines us. Don't be a Euthyphero. Know what you don't know. Please stop using me as an example. I don't rule with fear. You did hold my daughter and ex hostage last time they were here. But I did not hold them hostage. I gave them another chance to live. Character implications are completely different. If you insist, Arbiter, it is not our place to disagree with you. Exactly. Wait. No, I'm being used as an example. But the prince must not be hated. To offset the ire of the people, he must maintain a personal appearance of justice. What do you mean by this? While the prince should be ruthless in practice, he can still create the aura of kindness. Those who want to kill him are less likely to act if they believe doing so would be unpopular. Okay, well, back that up, baby. So if you're, like, pretend to be kind, no one will want to get you. But if you're also... I feel like I can challenge that, too. As a public figure, everyone must have a broad impression of you, but few see who you really are. So it's less important that the prince possesses virtuous qualities, and more that he seems to possess them. Pope Alexander VI never did anything but trick people, made grand promises, but never kept them. People still followed him. Ferdinand of Aragon kept preaching peace and trust and living the opposite. I'm sure there are examples from your eras as well, though if they are truly effective, people will disagree on who they are. Okay. I feel like I can challenge that, but... We'll loop back to that. Prince must therefore do all that is needed to recruit agents to enforce his will. Do all that is needed... Last time you said something that vague and meant torture and murder. Does not mean torture and murder here. Good to know. So what does it mean? The prince would ingratiate himself with agents in order to court them. An occasional reward, very occasional no, would give this group something to aspire to, incentive to serve, like a pizza party. If they desire pizza, but most will seek other rewards. Gold, glory, power of their own, such things are surely appealing. Statement updated. Okay. Favored greater power. Cons reminded the prince's power, peasants would not dare step out of line. Feel like Fear of reprisal will keep resistance you describe it from ever manifesting. Spark revolution smothered before the flame. Back that up for me, baby. I feel this is fairly intuitive, no, if my previous statements stand. Those who resist are afraid. Those who want to resist because they do not believe the prince himself. Prince's power will be secure. Okay. Prince must therefore court agents of power. Can we get more clarification on this? Extending his power through agents, his prince exerts control more broadly. The agents will be won over with the power and privileges of their own positions. A little positive reinforcements for extending the prince's will. Back that up. This follows logic your own argument. Yeah. Prince was pizza parties, you say. Such rewards agents will carry. Okay, I think I know what to challenge this with. Control requires fear, not reward. Was it now, girl? Let's say I believe you. Let's say fear is the most effective tool in preventing betrayal. let's say. Ha! You are merely too proud to admit you've come around to my abhorrent views. Regardless, in such a case, skilled agents would be quite the asset. By using them to spread fear, the prince could certainly succeed at controlling the people. But, tell me, McVelly, these same agents you empower with favors and gifts, what controls them? No! My logic! McVelly, the approach you describe is unsustainable. Even if fear is as effective a tool as you believe, the agents required to sustain it will be your undoing. Favors you grant to earn their loyalty makes them, through your own logic, less controllable. There's nothing to stop them from turning against their prince. That does make sense. I think he objects here, if I remember correctly. Well, perhaps if you limited the number of agents, any number of agents is a threat to the prince's power. More and more citizens are gathered under the rule of your prince, the need for such agents will only grow. But with each tool you forge to control the people, you are also forging your own downfall. Dictatorships are not only overthrown by the people themselves, they are often toppled by the military or by officers in their own government. Whatever form your enforcers take, eventually they will enforce their will against you. But the prince... The prince! Face it, McVelly, the truth is undeniable. To be ruled is to make everyone a potential enemy. For that reason, despots rule is a doomed rule. For any prince or princess, ruling through fear is not enough. No! No, no, no. No, 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 no. Oh my god, chill out, bro. Jesus. McVelly. Chill, bro. I was not strong enough. Fortuna has swept away my last work. Your last work? I was a writer of histories, of comedies. I never expected the prince to be so ubiquitous. I was exiled from the Florentine court when I wrote it. I wanted to earn back their favor. I shared it with a very limited audience while alive. To be honest, it was so long ago, I'm not even sure I truly believed what I proposed. Did I intend it as satire, a warning, or rather than a guide? A warning rather than a guide. Other philosophers here seem to have mixed opinions on the matter. Oh, come on. Why defend it so rigorously, then? Well, it's because it's his last work. No longer matters whether I believe it or not. It was my lasting contribution to the world. The prince is what I am known for. Machiavellian is a term for the worst of rulers. I am the patron saint of monsters, and I will never be anything else. Aw. Adio, Principessa. Now, I wonder if there's actually, any known about whether or not he believed in the prince or not. Maybe I should look that up. Well, I'm glad that's over. Agreed. This whole debate has made me feel very insecure. Oh, well, we were kind of calling you out a lot. I'm going to look it up. Did Machiavelli really believe the prince? Let's look it up, see if there's any. Surprisingly, the answer is no. Machiavelli is judged harshly by his book The Prince, which was written a sad attempt to escape exile after his brief imprisonment and torture by the Medici after they regained power in France. Niccolo Machiavelli was himself a fair-minded proponent of democratic government. Well, there you go. Learn something new anyway. Is there a full thing here? Here, on Quora.com, a guy named Stephen Beddick, who has a bachelor's in political science, says, hard to say, but probably not. Many other writings he specifically contradicts the arguments made in The Prince. Many consider The Prince to be a work of satire. Machiavelli's making fun of people who want unlimited executive power. Ostensibly, The Prince is his advice on how to gain that power despite the obstacles involved. His best advice is to be born into a hereditary monarchy. Drop parallel to this book, which many future may understand. This book's written by pretty much the same way. Oh, by Dogbert's Top Secret Management Handbook. I see. Cool. Good to know. The whole debate made me feel very insecure. I'm sure you're not nearly as tyrannical as Machiavelli made you out to be, Arbiter, though that was an effective bit of intimidation used to stop his breakdown. I think we've spent quite enough time here exploring the dark side of philosophy. I'm going to make sure your next appointment is someone more positive. Well, as fun as it was to see Machiavelli face the damage he's done, we haven't advanced my campaign at all. We should incorporate some memorable slogans. Unlock the gate to a new future. Or, belief in America opens all doors. Okay, well, I can just reiterate something. We're not going to be able to prove your perspective to the gate, Mom. There are so many possible systems out there. Why are you so stuck on convincing everyone yours is the best? You remember your grandma and grandpa were turnip farmers, right? Even if I didn't, your ads would remind me. It's not just a story for the ads. Their dedication and toil put me through college. That education's the reason I am who I am. The reason I met your father, had you, and ran for office. Everything good in my life I owe to them. And if I pull this off, I can give others the opportunities they gave me. Yes, but can you pull it off? Dad. Oh, Mom, I'm sorry. I didn't mean I don't believe in you. Just our politics are... I know politics can be difficult, can make our lives difficult, but I've made them work. I've had to make some uncomfortable compromises, missed a dinner or two, and I funded Capra to save schools, fought corruption. If I win this election, I could do even more. I don't care about the missed dinners. You were there when it mattered. What I do care about is how many hoops you've... hold on. Do you hear something? No. Weird. So as I was saying, just because you've done something good doesn't mean... Ariadne, please. Wait, Mom, I think someone is trying to... Ah! Ariadne, wake up! Is my dad here? Alright, well, that is going to be it for this video. If you made it this far in the video, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, or don't. I am not your mother. But you better brush your teeth. Now have a good one. Bye-bye.